So I
All right,
think
so who wants to go first?
I'm presenting and Don and Dane are presenting. And I guess I can go first if no one wants to.
Go for it.
Okay. So I'm talking about transitions and can you guys see that? So this is what I submitted, and this isn't like a he gave me a working on it. So I did some transforms and some animations, and then my transitions are down here. So I have a background transition, transitions colors, and then this transitions height and width, and I can show you maybe. There we go. So this is. Can you guys read that? Okay. So I have this set on hover. The transition begins, and same thing with both transitions. So the background color starts at blue, and then you set your transition, and you set what property you're changing, and then the time that it's going to take. And then down here, you're essentially calling your transition, and you say what background color it's going to change to. And I just did a cursor, a pointer cursor, so it's like a little pointing hand. So my confusion, like, I understand the concept of the CSS. I just have a hard time thinking of ways to apply it. And so this week I kind of focused on just looking for examples of used transitions, and that is not as easy as some of the the transforms and the animations. So some of my examples are not, well, most of them are not transitions, but I thought some of them were fun and helpful. So this is really fun. This is, I don't know if you guys have heard of Swarm. I've never used it. I think it sounds kind of creepy. You're like supposed to log everywhere you go so people can like follow you and keep track of you. I'm not really into that, but this goes along with the app. It's like this name that place type quiz, but they've got this really cool animation in here. You scroll and it sends all of the shapes. And then when you go to a city, it moves the pieces. And that scroll thing, I was really surprised at how simple it was. Like it just, all it does, is this the right one? Yeah, so you have the scroll, this stuff up here indicates that you're scrolling, that this is happening when you scroll, and then you're just moving the pieces. I thought that was really cool that they did that with such simple CSS. This one, and I can't remember, I looked at the CSS and I can't remember. I think this had a transition, and I don't know if you guys can see it on the shared screen, but like there's a box shadow on these, and there's a transition in the box shadow, so it happens gradually when you hover. So I thought that was interesting. This one was pretty cool. So in between, when you change pages, it actually has a transition before it loads. So I thought that was really interesting. So if you notice, like, it doesn't just change pages like on a typical website. It actually, like, it fades and then fades back in again with the next page. Oh, this one was fun. So since he's all into like getting user input and stuff and having us make this interactive with the user and stuff, he keeps talking about that. This one, CSS changes. Like this form is interactive. The CSS changes when you select something. I thought that was really cool. And then this one's really cool too. So like this, each input, when you click on an input, it emphasizes by moving the title of the name of the input. So like I said, they're not necessarily transitions, but I'm not very good at CSS, and I have a really hard time applying it effectively. And so like I said, my focus was just trying to get some inspiration for how to apply some of the transitions and transforms and that sort of thing. So do you guys have any questions for me?
Will you share the link to the one that's on right now?
Yeah.
Would you just share all of them, cool, please? Because I struggle with the same thing.
And I'm taking the advanced CSS class next semester, so I'm excited about that. But I'm not good at teaching myself CSS, and I was really hoping to get like some actual instruction on it, but okay. Well, you guys don't have any other questions.
I don't have any more. Dawn, do you want to go or do you want me to go?
So you guys, I panicked when Catherine said, Dawn's teaching tonight. I blew it. I'm traveling. I thought I only taught 4 times. I thought I was done. And then sure enough, I look and I'm supposed to be doing transforms tonight. And I honestly am not prepared.
Do you want us to edit this out?
But I'll take the hit on the professionalism, I guess, but it is the truth. And so I apologize. However, I'd be happy to teach it next week. It does seem like everybody's kind of struggling to get their CSS done. So I imagine people will, next week maybe have some specific questions that maybe I can help with to get the final things so you guys can get it at least at basic. So if that's agreeable to you guys, I'd be happy to do that.
I'm perfectly fine with that.
Sorry about that.
No worries. So let me share my screen.
Did you get?
I'm teaching animations.
Did you get your new computer, Jane?
I did. Am I sounding better?
Yeah, you are.
Great. Yeah, I got it. It's nice and new with a big screen and modern hardware. So feeling pretty good.
What a difference it makes, right?
I know, right? Okay, so I'm teaching animations. It's kind of gone, we've kind of gone over it already, but I just want to share a couple things. There is one, let me refresh the page so you can see kind of this. You guys can see my screen? Okay. You can see the text kind of grow and get bigger and wider apart. The square just bounces and I just have the border radius changing as it bounces, and I just have it set to an infinite loop. So it just goes back and forth and back and forth. And animations, I think, are probably the easiest of the CSS things. So, I mean, if you guys want, I can kind of go more deeply into it. That's the wrong one. Let me switch to my text editor quick. Okay, so this is the HTML, really simple. Just 2 divs and a paragraph element. I found this website on the Mozilla Developer Network that shows all the animatable properties for in CSS. So that helped a lot. There are two ways you can define an animation. You can do a from, to, or you can do it by percentages. Your start, and then as many increments as you want up to 100%. So that this is my animation for the box that that bounces. It just goes. It's broken into 10 separate parts. It's nothing special really. This is the one that makes the text grow. I changed the font size, and I also add a text shadow and a letter spacing, and just a simple from to, so it's nice and smooth. I did learn that if you want to leave the element at the end place, that you need to set it at the end place in the defining class or whatever ID selector in CSS, so that it will transition from the beginning and stay at the end. Does that make sense?
I learned that too this week, or well, last week when I was working on my CSS, because that always confused me.
Yeah. But that web page, if you want, I can post it in Slack. It is really helpful, and it does show, I think, everything that you could possibly want to animate.
I'd like it.
Okay. Kind of a short and sweet one today. There's not much more unless you guys have any questions.
I kind of have a question for everybody. My main problem with the animations is figuring out how to do what I want. So like, how do you like calculate the animation?
Is there something specific that you're wanting to do, like an example?
Yeah. So I'm doing flashcards because I'm original. And I want to do an animation where the card travels to the back of the stack. And like I just don't know, like it was like, I got the card flip because I looked at a website that has a card flip and I was able to play with that. But like starting from nothing and making animation it seems really daunting.
Yeah. I saw one that was dealing cards, and then I think they put it in the back of the stack. I'll have to see if I can find that for you, because that might have.
I would love that, because I'm going to see if I can do like a card game for my final.
Yeah, that would be really useful.
Let me see. A friend of mine did the concentration game last semester. Did I ever share that link with you guys? I'll share it in Slack, but she did concentration. I'm fairly sure she also had a stack in there where she dealt the cards from. So that might have something that you're looking for. Because it's always, like you said, it is nice to kind of start with something and then play with it. And I like to go on CodePen or something like that and then play with it. That way you're just kind of experimenting. And if it breaks, then it's no big deal. And then you can kind of make it your own by adjusting the timing or, how far it goes. So, but it's kind of nice to start with something. At least I think it is.
Yeah. It's really hard to just be staring at a blank page and be like, all right, I want this to happen. I can see it in my brain. But like, what properties do I actually have to manipulate to make that happen?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I just found her link, so let me send that to you guys. I'm gonna go look at it real quick because I'm pretty sure I remember. I know she did a bunch of different decks. So every time it went out, oh, I sent the wrong thing. I sent her code pen for something else. Let me try that again. Let's see. One bummer is by having her stuff, I've had to be really super careful. I haven't done anything like she did because I didn't want it to be like I was copying or something. So,
Did you say she took this class last semester?
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, there's her link in Slack. And then I know one of them has her game on it. Oh, up at the top it says final application. When you click on it, I'm pretty sure. Oh, so she doesn't have a deck. She did concentration and they just float out. So I was remembering it wrong. But I for sure know I saw a deck when I was looking around at things. So I'll see if I can find that and post that in there. But either way, there might be something on hers that kind of triggers an idea for you. I know you already figured out your card flip, but she does do a card flip on there. And then each one, like when you play the game, each time you play the game, it has a different CSS background. Like she used SVGs and stuff. So each deck has a different background. So every time you play it, there's a different deck. But yeah, I'll be back home on Sunday and all my links are on my iMac. So I'll look for the card deck thing. And I'll look while I'm here too, see if I can find it.
Yeah. Thanks. That'll be really helpful.
All right. Well, good job, everybody.
I know I did fabulous, didn't I?
Oh, yeah. Well, I forgot one time.
I'm hoping that since I had to teach 5 times and not 4 times, that he'll cut me some slack for not doing it.
I'm sure you will.
Anyway.
All right, guys.
Well, thanks, guys.
Good job.